And we are live. Welcome back to the Blueshirts Banter post-game show after an electric Game 3 matchup in Raleigh, North Carolina. Your New York Rangers are victorious by a score of 3-0 thanks to another overtime win. The Rangers take a commanding 3-0 lead in this series. I had to rep not only the Mets, but also the New York Rangers as well in full action here. Fellas, Jerry, Aaron, I understand we got some technical difficulties going on, but we make do with what we got. How are you all doing? How are you feeling? Tell me what the vibes are like. And if you're in the chat as well, let me get some LGRs in the chat. Hit that thumbs up as well. I definitely appreciate it. Fellas, how are we doing?
Yeah, hold on. I'm being chirped for quoting Carrie Bradshaw on Twitter. People are afraid of Sex in the City. No, fantastically. What a game. I was ready to go. I guess everyone's afraid of overtime. I'm not. I also want to personally apologize for whatever reason I couldn't access on my computer, so I'm on my phone again, and that kind of stinks, but whatever. We survived. We advanced. We figure it out. Yeah, what a game. We got dominated. That was not a good game for the New York Rangers to play, at least for a little bit. I want to get into something I want to talk about from last game that I was getting into the mud on Twitter about, but we'll get there when we get there. But all that matters to me is that we walked away with the dub and we're up 3-0. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important thing of what's going on right now at 10:26 p.m. East time.
Facts. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Listen, the last 3 games, man, our penalty kill has been amazing. I thought it was 15 for 15. I think it's still 50 for 15. But in this series, absolutely amazing. I can't believe that this penalty kill is doing its job, especially with how many shots, what Jerry just said, are going to Igor today. I think he stopped at least like 40-something saves today.
Yep. More than that, actually. More than that. But we'll get into that here in just a second. I had the team stats coming up. But I just want to say, shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate it. The last post-game stream that we did went bananas. And we appreciate everybody. We got a whole bunch of different new faces. As always, if you're in here, hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit the subscribe button as you watch. If you're over on X, come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube. And if you're new to this YouTube and you like the Rangers or just hockey, puck talk in general, subscribe. Bottom right corner, hit the orange icon and subscribe. We'll prop up your conversations as well in the live chat. Make sure you hit the live chat and let us know what the vibes are, New York Rangers fans. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? Let's get to some of the chat here because we do have some great people in the chat right now. Mason, first and foremost, big Rangers fan, always supporting the Blueshirts Banter podcast. What's up, guys? Dare I say Rangers in 4? They will do it for my birthday. Happy early birthday to you, Mason, and hopefully they do get it done for you, buddy. You deserve it, absolutely. We got your dad in the chat as well, watching the pod on the TV, Jerry.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. No, we got everyone's here, baby. We're ready to go.
Everyone's here. Everyone's here. We got Josh Renner in the chat saying elite. Appreciate you, Josh. As always, happy Thursday, Daniel. Appreciate you. And we got John. Big win. Big win, John.
Shout out, John. That's my guy.
Shout out, John. I appreciate you all. Keep hitting the live chat. Keep letting us know. We're going to talk about the X's and O's of this game. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up, all that good stuff. It helps support the podcast. We are going to be doing a post-game show after every single Ranger playoff game. That's as simple as that. No matter what iteration of us 3 are up on here, it could be 2. It could be me and Jerry, me and Aaron, Aaron, Jerry. Doesn't matter. All 3 of us are here tonight, and we're here to celebrate a 3-0 series lead. Let me say that one more time. For you all that were chirping me, that were saying Canes and 6 on my YouTube channel, saying Canes and 6, I respect you because the Canes are a good team.
I don't.
Okay. I'm going to take the high road. Listen, 3-0. That's all I care about. Let's get into the X's and O's of the game because, Jerry, like you said early on in this stream, this was a sloppy game for the New York Rangers. And the fact that they won this game should be a huge slap in the face to a Carolina Hurricanes team that really thought that they were controlling the game through and through for the majority of this game, right? And up until that equalizer. Momentum The Rangers aren't afraid of momentum. They aren't afraid of any sort of momentum against them because they recuperate and they recover. And it happened twice in key situations in this game. Gents, Aaron, you mentioned it. Igor Shesterkin, shots on goal for the Canes, 47 shots. Okay, I thought they had 57, so you were right. It was in the 5 of them by default. What are your guys' analysis on this game? Like this isn't a game that the Rangers are supposed to win.
So I want to backtrack to something you said and how it's kind of like you were saying how the Hurricanes had this in the bag and like it looks bad on them for letting it go. I disagree. It's a testament to the New York Rangers for how good of a hockey team they really are to just be clean cut, dominated all game long, and then they just come out and the penalty kill was astronomical tonight, astronomical, especially with Kreider Shorty. The power play wasn't its usual self. I believe this is the first game all series long that we didn't walk away with the power play goal, which sucks that the streak got snapped, but so be it. We still got the dub. That's all that matters in my book. And just the 5-on-5 play, I don't want to say it wasn't there, but the Canes came out desperate and hungry, and rightfully so. They were ready to go. I noticed it right in the beginning of the game, right after that first scrum where VC was just ready to go, saying, "You want some? Come get some." That 4-on-4, the Canes were playing like a man-on-man shutdown defense type deal, and the puck was just going back and forth at the top of the offensive zone. We couldn't get anything cooking. It was right there that I was just like, all right, I see what's going on here. The Canes are really ready to go here. So good job on the Canes for showing up when they needed to. It was almost enough, but I'm sorry, it just wasn't. We'll see what happens in Game 4, though.
What you got, Aaron?
So the only thing I'll say it's like a little negative is there's a lot of penalties going on by us. And like I said, our penalty kill is amazing, but I feel like we need to like tone it down on the penalties just because
that's not our fault. That's not our fault. The refs need to call a better game. This was a sub game. A lot of things could have been looked the other way on, I feel like. Let him play.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I had to listen to it. And if anyone that can't watch it on TNT, if you don't have cable and all, digital age, Sam Rosen is on ESPN radio doing this game. I was listening to him and Dave Maloney. So, but yeah, I mean, so we talk about Panarin in last Blueshirt Banter. He wasn't really doing much last year. This year, scoring goals, getting assists, doing what he needs to do to get this team going. He's pretty much being like the captain of the ship. And then Lafreniere, I mean, holy Jesus, what a coaching change does to a player. I mean, this guy, we thought he was a bust. He's already got 3 goals in this series. Dominating Chris Kreider. I talked about it last episode as well. His number's gonna be in the rafters. Do what he needs to do on the shorthand goals. He's the king at it for the Rangers. And I mean, that's kind of the positives that I got. And then one last negative is that it feels like Getzel's turning into like Alexander Ovechkin against us. Like the dude has 5 or 6 goals the last 10 games he's played us.
Second deflection goal too as well. I actually got into this game late, and thank goodness Jerry told me that it was a deflection. I was like, I am not surprised. The Hurricanes did it twice last game. Gensel had one of those deflections last game. Obviously, he had 2 goals on the game last game, if I'm not mistaken, and he has another one and opens up the scoring between either team tonight. I agree with you, and that was a testament to what we said the Rangers needed to do and work on going from Game 2 to Game 3 was sort of shore up that middle of the ice and the weak side of the ice and the defensive side of the zone. Do you all feel like they did a little bit of a better job? And before we get into the actual defensive alignment here with what we saw, Ethan, always supporting the Met stuff on this channel, here supporting the Rangers. This is the energy I need in the chat right now. Let's go finish them off this weekend. You don't play with your food. You don't wait for a Game 5, Game 6. You don't extend this series. You go for the kill. You step on their throats, and you end it in 4 on their home ice for the second time in 2 years. Because that was bittersweet what we did to them 2 years ago, Game 7 on their home ice. You do it again, and this time you do it convincingly in 4. So that's the energy that I need, Ethan. I appreciate it, and that is exactly what Stephen A. here is mimicking. Let's go finish these Canes off on Saturday. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, Gensel, Svechnikov have the goals for the Canes. Kreider, CK20, future Ranger Hall of Famer. Listen.
Future Hall of Famer.
Future Hall of Famer, period. Let me correct myself. This guy is unbelievable. Shorthanded goal, by the way, on a Canes power play. Shorthanded goal. Love to see that for the equalizer, and you could just feel the momentum and energy just deflate out of that stadium. Now, that's a rowdy crowd over there in Raleigh. They get behind that team, probably because they don't have any other professional sports teams over there that I'm aware of, so that's probably why they're extra kind of clingy to them. But nonetheless, no disrespect to that area. Great area, by the way. I do like Raleigh, but they get rowdy over there. They make their presence felt. And shout out to all the Rangers fans that are either located over there or made their way to Raleigh to attend this game. Because I heard a little bit of Rangers chants mixed in the crowd there, even through the TV. So props to you all. Penalties do need to get cleaned up, absolutely. But how about Lafreniere? You said it, Aaron. You said it. Believe he had 5 shots on goal. Obviously gets 1 to go. This guy has been absolutely phenomenal. He's been aggressive. And we said it about Roslovic and the last game where the skate speed compared to the Canes team just looked like another level. Lafreniere gave me that vibe today. He was buzzing out there on that ice. I don't know if you guys noticed it. I don't know if it's just me being a homer, but he looked like a different breed out there. And we got Will Hickey in the chat saying, let's go. Shout out to you, Will. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the Blueshirts Banter post-game show. What do you all think, man? I don't even know where I want to start with this. You see here the shots in favor of the Canes. The hits, the physicality, maybe more so in favor of the Canes, although I don't think the hits really resemble that, but maybe. No. Face-offs won in favor of the Canes. Block shots were the only thing in favor of the Rangers in this game. And you go from 40 last game, you talk about Trouba having 9 by himself, to a measly 16. This is crazy. Guys, this Rangers team is built to withstand anything that is thrown at them. And I love it.
No, it's crazy. It's like, you know, we said it, we talked about it during the regular season on our couple of shows. I kept saying, smells like 94, smells like 94. And now just the parallels that we're seeing. We're 7-0 in our past 7 since the playoffs started. You know the last time that happened? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what year the last time that happened was, which is nuts to me. And it's just, you almost feel like it's still Team of Destiny vibes, and we're still being disrespected. That's the weirdest thing to me. We're still being disrespected. I don't know how many times I can come on this show and scream, we won the President's Trophy. We were the best team in the NHL for however long. We got the trophy at the end of the year, and I understand that trophy means nothing. That trophy is just a fancy banner to hang in the rafters that you know, God forbid, subsequent with not winning the Stanley Cup that year. But it still looks great, and that has to hold something. We need to be respected, and the fact that we went out tonight and got outplayed severely in all those things that you just said just show us, like, this team, it's just something different. Going back to Laff, like you were saying before, Laff was in the mix all night long. I'm very happy to start seeing him. I don't want to call him a ghost in the first round, but I felt like he wasn't really as prevalent as he's been this series, which is fine. You know, it's, if you don't find your stride in the first round, just come in the second round. That's all I asked for. You look at guys like Kakko was in the mix tonight, another guy who's been quiet, but he was making chances happen with the one bad turnover he had in the offensive zone. There was a lineup change tonight where we scratched Rempe and played Hedel for his first game in 80 games, I believe it was. Happy to see him back. Another guy that was in the mix tonight. Didn't have anything to show for it on the board, but you heard his name a whole lot going on in the offensive zone. And then you look at guys like Mika's in the mix. Trocheck's is in the mix. Kreider's obviously in the mix. Breadman's in the mix. And Panarin, it's wild, too, because we all know Panarin's history in the playoffs where he kind of goes, you know, ghost, we'll see you later, whatever. And that's not necessarily the case going on right now. He's not playing like regular season Panarin where he's getting 3-4 points a game on average, but they said it to close out the TNT broadcast. Panarin has 4 goals in the playoffs, all playoffs long. all 4 of those goals were game-winning goals. So if this guy's not going to be in the nitty-gritty doing whatever he has to do to secure a win, I don't want to say to secure a win in regulation, but if he's not going to be in the happenings in the offensive zone, making things happen when it kind of doesn't really matter, but he's going to score the game winners, he's A-okay in my book. I don't want to hear any slander from them. And, again, I'm sitting here eating crow. I don't think he had a point tonight, but still he was in the mix doing what he has to do. Mika's having a hell of a playoff round, a playoff, year, we'll say. He's back. Me and Mika, the hatchet's buried. I'll never say another word about him again.
And Trocheck has another point. I believe they gave it to him on the Panarin goal.
Yep.
So that keeps his point streak alive as well.
Yeah, Trocheck is just taking it to his former team here. And you love to see it. He's been an absolute menace all series long. He's been in their heads. He's been in their hands. He's just been an absolute handful, laying at wood when he needs to, throwing the body around, blocking shots, getting points, winning faceoffs, even though we did lose in that category tonight. But he's won a couple key ones, I feel like. It's great. They're firing on all cylinders. And even when we're being dominated and we have no business doing what we're doing, we're still coming out on top. And that's what we need to see. It's the grittiness. People think the best team always wins. That's not true, especially in the playoffs. In the playoffs, the grittiest team is going to come out on top 10 times out of 10.
I really do think the Rangers, though, you can't say the Canes are the better team here. The Rangers are for sure the better team.
Tell ESPN that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, tell the betters.
Listen, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm already used to that. If you're a Knicks fan, most Knicks fans here in the chat probably are accustomed to that. We have to listen to Reggie Miller, Stan Van Gundy, everybody else in between, Shaq, Charles Barkley. We don't care about any of that noise. 2-0 for the Knicks. Let's pour one out for the Knicks because they deserve some love as well. MSG Sports on top. And also, your New York Rangers are keeping that streak alive. So let's see both of these MSG teams go to 3-0 tomorrow as the Knicks head to Indiana and go and play the Pacers there. But this is the energy I need. Josh B coming in with the LFGR. Throw those in the chat. If you're in here, throw some LFGRs in the chat. I don't care what you got to do. I need the vibes up. Let's get the vibes up. This team is playing phenomenal hockey right now, and I could not be happier. This is absolutely true. This is a little side talk that's going on here in the chat. It's a great, great discussion. John, like you were saying, is saying what you were saying, Aaron. They need to stay out of the box because the penalties have been coming a little bit more frequently than even I would have liked them to, right? But also, to counter that, Brian here in the chat saying the penalty kill is dominating. Yes, but the Canes simply are being very timid, borderline just maybe not on the same page on their power play opportunities. I mean, how many times was the broadcast today going to ask when that Canes team was going to shoot? They had a lot of good looks that it just felt like they were being very timid on. And this is not just restricted to this game. Game 1, same thing. Game 2, same thing. And now game 3, there might be a little bit bigger of a reason as to why they haven't gotten a power play goal in this series, other than the fact that the Rangers penalty kill has been phenomenal. It's probably a little bit of both going on, both phenomenons colliding, and it just creates the perfect storm for the Rangers to dominate on that penalty kill.
And I'm really surprised that's the case here, just because and I hate to give a POS his flowers here, but Tony DeAngelo has always been and always will be phenomenal on the power play. The guy's a power play specialist. I don't care how you feel about him politically, personally, whatever. The guy's a okay hockey player, but he's really good in the power play. That's where he excels. And the fact that he just hasn't been able to make anything happen is kind of shocking to me, because we saw during the regular season, since he's been in Carolina for that matter, but a couple of years now, and just nothing. They're 0 for 15, and I can't believe it's happening. And we're not that good on defense to begin with. It's crazy.
Facts. Hey, by the way, we got about over 100 people watching this stream right now across X and
Shout
YouTube.
out you guys. So, thank you, everybody. We appreciate it.
Shout out to you. Steve's over on X. Other Steven is on YouTube. If you're on X, come over to YouTube, show some love, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You know what to do. We're going live after each and every Rangers playoff hockey game. The boys are here. We provide what you all want, which is commentary on this playoff series. This is a hit, man. These last couple of post games have been a hit because this was supposed to be, and I'm not gonna jinx it. Let me just knock on wood there. It's a 3-0 lead. The job's not finished. Let me just not even allude to the fact that the job's finished. It's not. But I'm a little bit surprised, and I think a lot of people are surprised with the way this is shaken out so far. It seems like, just like the Knicks, the Rangers in crunch time, no matter what happens early on in the game, the middle parts of the game, whatever, when it gets to the late game crunch time, the Rangers are just the more fundamental team. And I love it. I love it. Aaron, what do you think about that?
I mean, I agree with you what you just said, because Rob Brittamore literally brought almost the exact same team minus Jay Getzel and Evgeny Kuznetsov to the Eastern Conference Finals last year and got dominated against Florida. But still, like, this dude goes deep into the playoffs with these teams, and I mean, it just shows too what P. Laviolette is completely different than our last coach. I'm not going to say his name because he's just a bum in general, but it just shows how good P. Laviolette is as a veteran coach and knows the adjustments that needs to be done and needs to get done. Like, I wouldn't have imagined. I'll just say his name, Gerard Gallant, playing Filipino after not playing since November. I figured he would have kept Matt Rempe because of how chirpy it's been the last 3 games with the physicality and stuff like that. And then Filipino, I believe he almost. I could be wrong because, again, I was listening to it, but it sounded like he almost tried to get a score there. So it's like, dude, he hasn't played in what Jerry said, like 80 games, and this dude's about to score in the playoffs. So, I mean, hats off to P. Laviolette. We don't give him enough flowers for it.
We could have used Rempe tonight. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't hate the move at all. Let him play. Let him get in there. You got to throw him in there sometime, especially because Hedl excels in the playoffs. They talked about it earlier. He had the last time they played the games, I think, in the Canes, not the games. The last time they played the Canes in the playoffs when they took him to 7 and beat him, he had like 5 goals in that series alone. Like, he's a very good playoff hockey player. So to have him in the lineup is definitely huge. But I'm not going to lie to you, especially because it happened while Rempe's line was on the ice. I think I would have loved to see Rempe bashing in some heads during that first period scrum.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Hey, were you guys surprised that the Canes made the goalie switch in this game? Because that was the conversation, and I know that was a conversation on the last 2 post games. Jerry, the first game, after the first game, you said that you could foresee a goalie change at some point this series, and then Aaron followed that up after the game 2 post game on here and said the same thing, even after an incredible Freddie Anderson performance in game 2, dueling with Igor Shesterkin on the other side. Obviously, Shesterkin has the ongoing streak of now 30 games in the playoffs, giving up less than 3 goals or less. Only ahead of him is Jonathan Quick, I believe, with 33 or 34, who's conveniently the Rangers' backup goalie right now. Were you surprised that Rindamore went with the backup tonight instead of Freddie Anderson after that performance? Because I know what you guys are going to say. You're not shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah. No,
They're grasping for straws.
Yeah, they really needed a shakeup, and it's not Freddie Anderson's fault. Again, his name's Freddie. We all know how I feel about that. But it's not his fault. You know, he hasn't. I don't want to say he hasn't really been tested, but we've been outshot now. I believe in all 3 games. We were definitely outshot in game 2. I don't remember the game 1 shots on goal, but we were definitely outshot in game 2, and we were certainly outshot tonight. And Freddie Anderson hasn't been tested, minus a couple of softies that he let in. I would say he let in 1 softie in game 1 and 1 softie in game 2. I feel like he has done everything he could to help them stay in the game. You know, I don't think the losses are necessarily on them, or him rather. But when you're, like Aaron said, when you're desperate and you're grasping at straws, you got to do something to change the juju. My biggest worry here was that we were going to get Louis Domingue or Akira Schmidt, or pick your poison here, because it's happened time and time again where we can't play against backup goalies for whatever reason. We always make them look like they're Vezina winning trophy goalies. Not necessarily the case tonight, almost the case, but I just thank God it wasn't, because now that we know we have a leg up on this guy who was crying his eyes out after he let in that overtime goal, I feel for you, but also, dude, save it for the locker room. I get it, emotions are riding high, but that's not going to bode well if we sweep you, because you're going to see that online till the day you die, probably.
But remember, though,
true.
Frederick Anderson was on the Toronto Maple Leafs when they traded for him when he was in Anaheim. So he probably learned how to cry for Mitch Marner.
That's a good chance. That's a good point. I want to switch the script real quick. I want to bring up something to see what you guys think. So after game 2, I got into the mud on Twitter, and a lot of people were shit talking our 5-on-5 play. And while tonight those people have a leg to stand on, because tonight was pretty atrocious, and I think if Kreider didn't score that shorthanded goal, I don't know what would have happened. I'll be honest with you, but I feel like in game 2, I feel like we played pretty all right. Our obviously our power play, has the weight on their shoulders because they're so good and they're able to do what they do. And we're seeing the penalty kill for the penalty kill was able to keep the Canes 0 for 15 on the power play, which is more than impressive. But with I feel like it's not a knock to say, hey, you guys suck at full strength hockey. Your special teams are too good. And that's all you have to, that's all you have to reason why you are where you are right now. I think that's a ridiculous chirp. I think that's just more of a testament to how good of the hockey team really is. It's like, hey, yeah, we can do this, and we're getting these chances and opportunities. And guess what? We're seizing the moment. So yeah, I bet you wish your team could do that, because I know if the Rangers weren't, I certainly would. And number 2, in game 2, I didn't think we played that bad. I thought it was a very even game. I thought we kept it in that bay just about everywhere. We can't control when we're going to have these opportunities and when they're going to, strike, for lack of a better term. I just think it's stupid. Tonight we were dominated 5-on-5. So whoever chirped me on Twitter, I get where you're coming from for tonight's game. But after game 2, come on. I know this is last show's discussion, but I just wanted to bring it up now because I wasn't here.
Yes, I agree with you. Before, I'm going to let Aaron get to that because I definitely agree with you. It's kind of a ridiculous sort of narrative. And I feel like that doesn't just apply in terms of fans on Twitter, social media for just the Rangers. I've definitely seen other teams been attacked with this. Oh, power play merchants, this, that, and the other, right? A lot of people are saying that about Jack Hughes from the Devils. I'm not going to just go back and open that can of worms, but this doesn't just apply to the Rangers. And I feel like that's the go-to for a lot of fans around the league, to just use that as an excuse. But nonetheless, I wanted to shout out Stephen A here with the Super Chat $4.99. I appreciate you, Stephen A. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Super Chat's always welcome on the stream. I appreciate you all. I love to prop up everyone's comments and have a conversation with everybody, but definitely want to take the time to shout out the great people supporting the podcast, and donating to the podcast as well. Hey, CP, Steven says, you are the man. Shout out to Aaron and Jerry as well. But our New York Rangers are on a mission. We want the Stanley Cup, period. Period, Steven says.
Hell yeah.
Period. I love that energy. Steven, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you to you and everybody else in this stream for supporting. Obviously, tell your friends, tell your family about the Blueshirts Banter boys. Obviously, we're always here on the post games, providing you great New York Rangers coverage. We're going to continue to do so, but I appreciate it. And I wanted to shout Stephen A out just like he's shouting us out. I love it. Thank you so much, Stephen A. Aaron, what do you think about Jerry's comment, though? The whole, you guys are special teams merchants. Obviously, dude, listen, this Rangers special team, the penalty kill and the power play, I'm not sure what percentage they're at on the power play in these playoffs. I haven't taken a look at that, but it's pretty damn impressive. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think the Canes did clean up their penalty kill defensive sets tonight. And they left a little bit more. They crowded the middle a little bit more. And I was looking at some replays in game 1 and game 2 where they sort of left the middle of the ice and they were a little bit too over aggressive on their penalty kills, which just left the Rangers wide open territory in front of Freddie Anderson. But what do you think about that, Aaron? What do you think about all the fans that are chirping at Jerry, chirping at Rangers fans collectively here up, all of us, everybody in the chat, that the Rangers team is built on that special teams play?
Yeah, before I do, though, shout out to Ashley Gordon from Toronto. She was on the last stream. Definitely agree with this comment. I don't think you were dominated. Canes were on outside or one done for most part in the third period. Yeah, I definitely agree with that one. And shout out to right here, Daniel Villalobos. Hopefully I said that right. Shishkin is an absolute wall. Let's go Rangers. Cheers from Costa Rica.
The boys are going international. We love it.
I love it. We had Australia in the game 1 post game.
Yeah.
We had Toronto, and now we have Costa Rica. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, whatever isn't broke, don't fix it. I mean, we knew into the Washington series our penalty kill is going to be like the top tier. Our special team is going to be top tier. I mean, we're scoring when we need to score. I mean, I'm okay with what's going on right now in these playoffs as long as we just clean up the penalties. Like I keep saying, I'm going to keep hitting myself in the head about that. But I mean, there's nothing really much to talk about. Yeah, our 5-5 was a little shaky, which is fine. But like, we're scoring goals, so that's kind of the most important thing. We're scoring more goals than our opponent, and this team was in the beginning of the season supposed to go to Eastern Conference Finals. That is how good this team was. And with Jake Edsel, they were like, "Oh, it's over." Got it. They're going to be the East champs. So it's like
never a doubt.
It is.
Never a doubt. You got a Jake Gensel. We have a Jack Roslovic. Take a hike. We didn't want your, high profile free agent trade deadline pickups. I'm glad with what we have. And I've been screaming about this since game 1 of the first round. Thank God for Jake Roslovic. Thank God for Alex Wenberg. Thank God for all these guys we picked up. They're grinders and they're getting it done. That's all you can ask for.
And that was what I liked about the trade lines, that we didn't trade like all this stuff to get like a Frank Petrano.
100%.
That everyone kept talking
100%.
about. We're getting the grinders that helps you in the playoffs, deep of the playoffs. Oh, and definitely apologize. Ashley Gordon did not know that. My faults. But
apologies, but we appreciate the support. Honest mistake.
Yes.
Honest mistake. We got our guy Zach also in the chat, by the way. Yo, what's up, boys? LGR. Shout out to the Sunny Days Media crew, by the way. Jerry is part of the Sunny Days Media crew. Zach is part of the Sunny Days Media crew. And the head honcho, Mr. Matt Pask, is also the fearless leader, I believe.
Yeah, but he's an Islander fan, so we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. But also, subscribe to the Sunny Days Media channel. They do great talk over there. All New York sports, Mets, Islanders. Going to get some Ranger streams on there as well, I presume, if we're going to double cast this as well. This Blueshirts Banter effort here. All that good stuff. Subscribe at Sunny Days Media 516 on YouTube. Go and support the guys. Not only me, not only Aaron over here, but also the guy in the middle here, Jerry. Support Jerry, because this Blueshirts Banner post-game show, this podcast extends just beyond us. We have a great relationship with everybody in the community, especially the Sunny Days Media crew. Love those guys over there, Zach, Pask, everybody else that's involved with that effort. Great guys. Highly recommend. Just wanted to say that real quick with everybody listening here. Go subscribe. Type it in on YouTube, where they have to open up a new link or just deviate away from this. Whatever you got to do, go subscribe over there. That is my shameless plug for you guys. I appreciate you all always. But no, nonetheless, great win, man. I mean, honestly, the adjustments is something that we need to just give love to Peter Laviolette, man. The
100%.
Game adjustments. And it really opened my eyes when he gave an honest assessment of the Rempe situation after game 2. You're a coach. You're coming off of an electric double overtime win. You're asked about Rempe and the playing time, him being in a lineup, et cetera, et cetera. And he was very honest. He didn't sugarcoat anything. He was very honest and was like, I feel like Rempe can, more lack of a better term, like lack of a better statement here, because I don't know exactly what word for word he said, but he sort of like left the door open for a lineup change to happen. But he also gave credit to Rempe with all the contributions that he's in there for, which is to just be the enforcer, the physical guy. Like, he's giving love and showing love to his guy, but he's also like, listen, I make the adjustments on the fly. I felt like Rempe in the scenario, right? I believe the question was, correct me if I'm wrong, why Rempe didn't get more ice time in game 2. I believe that's what it was. And he's like, in the response, like, he didn't say this word for word, but he's like, that's him making an in-game adjustment. He looks at the game as it's happening, and whatever worked in the first period or didn't is not the same thing that's going to work or not going to work in the second period. And that's what you have to love about a seasoned veteran as your head coach, making those adjustments where previous coaching regimes in the past wouldn't have made for this team. Like Aaron said, he who shall not be named earlier in the stream. Like, what do you think about that? What do you think about the answer that Mr. Laviolette gave after game 2 and how it translated here into game 3, obviously not seeing Rempe in place of Chytil?
I wanted to say it would result in less penalty minutes, but that was obviously not the case. um, and we also weren't lacking, surprisingly, in the physicality. You know, you saw Goudreau getting involved. VC was getting involved. Cooley's always a menace. Trocheck's been a menace. Like, people are picking up the slack. And sure, Rempe brings a lot to that. And I don't want to sit here and let people think I'm shitting on Matt Rempe because I'm Team Rempe. I'm not as big as my guy Will is. Will actually bit the bullet and bought a Rempe jersey. God bless him. I think he's been phenomenal. But, you know, he doesn't. He's in there, and what I want from Rempe is something I haven't seen yet. Rempe needs to park his ass in front of the goal at all times when he's on the ice. This dude is almost 7 feet tall, probably eclipses the 7 feet mark when he's on skates. And if he just parks it in front of the goal and stands there and be the aggressive player that he is, someone tries to clear him out. That's not going to happen. And then you'll see a lot more, maybe not as skilled as a Panarin's goal tonight in the overtime finisher, but you'll see a lot more of these tip-in garbage goals go in. And I think that's something that's pretty important that the offense could, like, we have a pretty high-octane offense, and I think if we were to go along with those lines as well, we can really balance it out and just throw pucks at the net when we need to, but also turn on the Jets and be a razzle-dazzle offense also when we need to, you know?
Plus, he scored in game 1, the first goal.
He did.
With Matt Rempe. It was exactly what you just said. He was right in front of the net. I believe it was it the Laugh or their – I think Laugh got the assist on that one. I could be wrong, though. Well, Rempe got in the first one to go, but I definitely want to do this question right here. Thoughts on Goudreau. The only thing I'm going to say is that guy was on the milk cart for the whole entire season. Yeah. I believe right now this dude has, I could be wrong, don't quote me, like 12 hits. I believe he definitely has a few assists. Playing like he did in Tampa, it seems like. It's like, we're in the playoffs. Let me just take it up a notch and get off the milk cart. And so I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Barclay Goodrow.
I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Show up when you need to. You know, we've been guilty of regular season heroes for a pretty long time now. If you've been watching this show, you're no stranger to my battle with Mika. Breadman, I was a little sweet on because I love him. And just things like that. And, you know, none of it matters. That's not true. But the majority of things that you do not matter for 82 games. They matter for the 16 wins that you need to follow after April 20th. That's when things really matter. So if you want to lock it in and play a phenomenal playoff, you know, season, I'll call it, and have not a great regular season, fine in my book. Show up when it counts. This is where memories are made. This is how you earn in a Rangers video montage to set up a meaningless regular season game in December, you know? And Barclay Goodrow, that's the double overtime winner, some shit like that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And I think just to give my piece on it, I'm just going to echo exactly what Zachary is saying here. Mr. Zach, I appreciate you as always. Awesome guy. Really happy to meet you back when I went to the Mets game in March. I actually met Pask and Zach. Great dudes. Goudreau has been solid. Not worth the full 3.6 that he's getting paid, but a very good fourth liner. I think that's a fair assessment. So that's my thoughts on that. I want to get a little bit more into the chat here because we got a lot of people in here. People are showing out. People love their Rangers hockey, and you should because this team's good. This team is good. And I didn't even get to your dad's question, Jerry, up at the top. And before I get to the ones at the bottom here, I want to get to that because we had a couple people from the last stream. You weren't here, but a lot of people saying they've been watching Rangers hockey since like 67, 76, just a bunch of different years in the 1900s. And we love them because they've stuck to this team through and through. And they're like, listen, I think that this team has a potential. And they honestly, they weren't shy. Like, I can't speak to it because I haven't been a fan of this team for that long, obviously. I hope I'm a young guy in the eyes of everybody. Like, I hope I am. But nonetheless, I didn't get to witness 1994. So hopefully I witnessed something special this year. But nonetheless, a lot of people are not hesitant to say that this team could be better than 1994. Like on
Numbers
paper,
don't lie.
it is.
Numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. You can't look at these comparisons between the two seasons. Like I said at the top of the show, they're just ridiculous at this point. It's wild. And even on the Knicks side of things too. Look where they are. Look how they're doing. Look what happened there. Like it's stuff like that that just makes you go, yeah, this is it. This is a team of destiny. This is probably the best shot. Like if you look back to 2014, 2014 was a hell of a ride, and I don't want to say we didn't really have any business being where we were, but it didn't feel like this. It felt a lot different. I was talking to my girlfriend earlier today. She was like, because she always asks me every time I put on a game, she's like, so is this a do or die game? Like if they lose tonight, is it over? I'm like, huh. She just wants me to stop watching sports every day. I'm like, honey, we got another 4 to 6 more weeks of this stuff, hopefully, and that's on the short end. But like, not once this playoff, with the exception, honestly, no, not even with the exception of, because again, I'm in the minority here. I love overtime hockey. I live for that type of stuff. It makes me feel alive, no matter which way it goes. It obviously sucks when it doesn't bounce your way, but I love that type of stuff. I got 16 text messages tonight saying, "Here we go." I said, "Here we go again," but everyone was afraid of what was going to happen. I'm like, "No, strap in. This is what we signed up for, baby. This is the best of the best." Not once have I been anxiety ridden. Not once have I been, ready to go. Like, so there's always been an ongoing thing that I did for the past 3 playoff runs, because I feel like we've been really underdogs then, where I would just play Eye of the Tiger on repeat every single day, just nonstop. So much so it ended up in like my top 50 on Spotify at the end of the year. And I haven't had to really whip that out once this year. And not that's I love Eye of the Tiger. I think it's a great song, but it's just a testament to how good this team is. I'm not worried in the slightest. Do I think we're gonna go 16-0? No, probably not. I think that's really not feasible. I don't even know what I was trying to say there, but I don't think it's gonna happen at all. I think that's near impossible. And if it does, oh man, what a sight that would be to see. But what's it called? It's just it's weird to have this feeling where you're just not constantly on edge all the time, thinking like, oh man, we're down 3-2, we're going into game 6. Like this is a must-win situation here. We can't afford any mistakes or whatever. We haven't lost a game. It's and knock on wood here, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx anything. And yeah, I'll come out and say it. I expect to lose on Saturday. In fact, I don't want to win on Saturday. I want to win at home in the Garden. Win this in 5. There's no need to sweep the Canes. And if we do, fantastic. But if we don't, I ain't losing sleep over it. It's fine by me. It's a crazy feeling. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I really like it. I like the anxiety-induced playoff hockey feeling. I think it really makes you feel like it means something. But this is it's weird to be so on top and yet still feel disrespected from all the major media outlets. It's wild.
I'm gonna take it a step less than that before Aaron goes, and just say that, like, just within the game, being down 1 goal after the first period, heading into the second period, like, I'm not sweating at all. Like, when is this goal gonna come? Is this goal gonna come? Like, this goal is going to come at some point, and we saw them do it on the shorthanded opportunity. So, like, I'm gonna say this: the double OT, I was sweating a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was,
not for
Josh,
a second. Not for a second.
I was sweating. Sweating, no chance. But no. Honestly, I agree with you in the sentiment. Absolutely, it does feel good and refreshing. Aaron, what do you think about?
Wow, Jerry said a lot. Just trying to remember. I definitely agree. This is not like the 2014 team, and I do remember watching them at that point in my life. And I mean, great. It was a great team, but I felt like Hank was standing on his head a little too much in those series, and I think that was a problem once we got to that Kings team. Which I said in Game 2, I feel like we're starting to look like on the hitting perspective, just because that team literally did 200 something hits in that entire playoff series. I feel like we're trying to get there. I think that's a good idea for us, but no, I mean this team's getting it done, and I just again we keep talking about like the adjustments that's going on, and if I really do think though we should get at least 1 loss in. I feel like it humbles us. It makes us not feel like gods, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, man. I really don't have much to say like right now, just because I'm a little hyped up that we're up 3-0 against a really good Canes team, and we're just playing excellent hockey at the right time.
I'm gonna disagree with you guys. They can and should, and I expect them to win on Saturday. I'm going to just say it again.
Do it
Don't
for
play with
Mason.
your
Do it for
food.
Mason.
Yeah.
Do it for Mason. Do it for Mason. Shout out to Mason all the way at the top of the stream as well, just to shout you out one more time, Mason. Hopefully they do it for my birthday. Yes, absolutely. Hopefully they do. Let me get to some more comments in the chat here before we give our final closing thoughts. Maybe some, I don't want to say adjustments, because when you're up 3-0, like obviously every team's going to make adjustments and Laviolette's going to have these guys making adjustments. But like, what are you most looking forward to? Just think about this while I'm going through the comments so we can close out our final thoughts on Saturday. Like in the game, when the game starts, puck drops, what are you most looking forward to? Let me get to some of the comments here because I appreciate everyone being here. Boris is saying my prediction works. Let's go, Rangers. One more win in Carolina to close it out. I agree with you, Boris. Just close that out in Carolina. No need to go to game 5. I understand it's great to win from the home crowd. Even better to shut their fans up and do it in front of their crowd. Let's see here. I like my head spinning right now. Don't have my glasses on. Seeing all these great people in the chat. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Timothy is saying if the Rangers beat the Hurricanes in Game 4 in Raleigh on Saturday, they will be headed to the Eastern Conference Final. Yes, Timothy. Yes. Yes. And we're going to seek revenge.
Yep. And the Panthers are beating up on the Bruins, so they're both beating up on each other. So that's good for us.
Yeah, it went,
yeah,
it went
I need
5-1, then
if
6-1,
that
right?
stays. Well, forget about that. I think he means physically. They're currently the series is currently 1-1, but if they keep that up and just go back and forth till 7 and just beat the crap out of each other, we're going to be in a real good spot. Real good spot.
Yep, I agree with you. Michael's saying Messier, baby. Absolutely. Shout out to Michael being in the stream as well. Saw some conversation up at the top here. Sorry that I passed through it. Apologies. But you know what? I can't find it. So let's just give our final thoughts while I try to find the comment. But also, guys, before we give our final thoughts, hit that thumbs up for us. Are y'all hype? I'm hype, bro. I'm hype. I'm sorry. Final thoughts. Jerry, up first.
Yeah, I got a piece. All right, listen. I'm going to get on my soapbox real quick. I noticed something today. And I didn't really notice it because I am fairly – I don't want to say I'm new to the Knicks team, but this is my bread and butter, and the Knicks have always been my sister team. And I follow from afar. I don't watch every single game. I watch every Ranger game. Obviously, it's why I have a podcast. The Knicks are also apparently hated by major media outlets, which I did not know. I started to notice that last night. Then I saw a lot of glaring examples on Twitter this morning when I was going through my stuff, just checking my dailies. And what a coincidence, everyone here who knows who's watched this show in the past, I despise ESPN. ESPN despises me. ESPN despises the New York Rangers. The major media outlets despise the New York Rangers. Vegas sportsbooks despise the New York Rangers. And all I have to say right now is that it's New York versus everybody. That's it. I don't care who likes us. I don't care who's with us. I don't care who's against us. It's New York versus everybody. If you're not with us, we're coming for you. We're kicking your ass. We're taking your name, and we're out for your blood. That's it. We're on a tear. The Knicks are on a tear. This is going to be just like 94 with hopefully a completely different result. And that's it. Be excited for Saturday. Be excited for tomorrow for game 3 with the Knicks. Hopefully they can go up 3-0 on the Pacers as well. We can close things out on Saturday. The Knicks can close things out on Sunday, and we'll be ready to go for the Eastern Conference Finals on both ends. And that would be a hell of a representation for New York City, even at a time where I think it personally needs it a little bit. Because everyone always says the city is better when the Knicks are good. And now the Rangers are just as good as the Knicks are, if not better. I like to think they are better. It's just, this is the place to be. And while I might have relocated to Connecticut recently, I'm still New York at heart, always will be. And I plan on making it down for a couple games to go to watch parties and do whatever. So if you see me in a bar, say what's up, and let's just finish it and bring this stuff home. Let's keep fighting. Don't care what anybody says. Block out the haters. And if the haters come at you, go right back at them just twice as hard because they hate us, because they ain't us, and they're freaking jealous.
Period. Aaron, how do you follow that up? I'm just curious. How do you follow that up?
Jesus. I'm not even sure. But I am in favor of shaving the goalie pads on each leg. Let's jump it up a notch. So yeah, I'm definitely cool with that one. Geez, this is gonna be tough to kind of bring up. I had something too in my head, and then Jerry just kind of ruined it because he was on his little rant, which I'm cool with. But Jesus, Jerry's gonna be speechless, man. I'm not even sure what to not sure what to say. Yeah, I got nothing, man. The only thing I'll say is that I'm so dedicated to watching Raiders hockey, being on the stream. I'm at work right now, and I literally clocked out, and I'm literally at work talking about Rangers hockey. That's how dedicated I am to Rangers hockey. So that's all I gotta say about that. And I appreciate every 152 people in the watching the stream. Again, like you've seen tonight, if you comment in the comments, we answer it. If we did get to your questions and or comments, we do apologize for it. That we have not had this much on Blueshirts Banter. Starting off in the beginning, I think we had maybe like 6 people commenting. Now we have all these people commenting. Appreciate everybody in that one. Yeah, this is a really good Raiders team. I definitely think this is better than the last 2 playoff series that we've had. They're just clicking on all cylinders, and LFGR.
LFGR. Listen, Steven said it. Amen. Jerry, very well said. I'm kind of on the opposite boat as you, whereas I watch every Rangers game. Don't get me wrong. I watch every Rangers game, but I'm not as in tune to like the nitty gritty X's and O's of hockey and the niche rules as I am basketball, just because I grew up playing basketball my entire life. Diehard Knicks fan for forever. And so we're kind of like on the opposite end of that spectrum. By the way, I do Nick's post games as well on my channel. Me and my guy Nick from the He Did This to Me podcast, always on the Nick's post games. Check us out. We'll be live hopefully tomorrow, barring any schedule conflicts. So if you like the Knicks simultaneously with the Rangers, check us out tomorrow right in the channel. We did one last night as well, up on the channel for your viewing as well. But it is really New York versus everybody. ESPN, right? Not only despises the Rangers, but other than Kendrick Perkins, they also despise the Knicks. Everybody on the national media despises it. I had to watch the Knicks last night. Electric dub. OG gets injured. Jalen Brunson misses a quarter and a half, comes back, dominates the game. And I have to listen to the first thing said on TNT from Charles Barkley saying, I can't wait till the Celtics beat this team. They are nothing.
The Celtics just lost to the Cavaliers. The Celtics just got dominated by the Cavaliers, which as a Knicks fan, not to turn us into the Knicks talk, but as a Knicks fan, gives me hope. And listen, after last night, I was a little scared, a little worried, but I don't know. But after tonight, watching the Celtics lose, and Jerry may or may not have had some money on that game, so I'm a little upset about it. but it just gives me hope because I thought the Celtics were an untouchable powerhouse, and they are not. They're human, and the Knicks could take them. The Knicks will exploit that. I ain't worried.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a tough blow because OG Anunoby is out for game 3 tomorrow night, but nonetheless, next man up mentality, not only for the New York Knicks, but also your New York Rangers as well. It is next man up all the time in New York because that is what the foundation of New York sports is built upon. Next man up, grittiness, toughness in the face of adversity, and we're seeing it with both of these MSG teams. Now I just hope it translates a little bit more to that team in the back over there. I think they need a little bit more of a lesson in that category. But nonetheless, we'll talk about that later. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jonah as well in the chat, joining a little late. Catch the replay if you missed the entire stream. We're about 54 minutes on this stream, going into 55 minutes. Catch the beginning of the stream, a lot of X's and O's on the game. We like to have a little bit of a fun twist, a lot of different side conversations. It's what keeps the engagement for us because there's a lot of different comparisons we can make, a lot of fun stuff that's happening, but we also have to check the media a little bit because they're just disrespectful sometimes, quite simply. So we are going to be up on here talking great about our team that is now 3-0 in this series. Shout out to Carlos Ortiz, also a huge supporter of this podcast and this channel. Salute to you, Carlos Ortiz. Shout out to Jay, also an avid supporter. Celtics literally did just get dominated by Mr. Spider Mitchell. Yeah, he's a dog. Absolutely. Listen, this has been the Blueshirts Banter podcast. If you don't know our names, it's CP, Jerry, and Aaron. We are the Blueshirts Banter crew, and we will be doing a lot more Rangers hockey talk, particularly on the post-game streams here as these playoffs roll on. We'll be doing some standalone podcasts, maybe some pre-recorded episodes to talk about New York Rangers off-season hockey when that happens. Hopefully, like Jerry said, not until about 4 to 6 weeks from now, maybe even a little bit more. We're going to have enough time to celebrate whatever happens. It's been a great season. We need this, though. We know what the goal is. There's nothing short of the goal that we have set in sight. We're not going to talk about it right now, but it's in front of us, and we're just kind of like tunnel vision straight to the promised land. It's your boy CP. As always, I appreciate everyone here. Too long of a list to go through individually. Normally I would, like Aaron said, the support has been immaculate.
And yeah, we're used to 7 people.
And we'd be on here all day naming people. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tap the notifications button. If you are subscribed, hit the notifications button. It's the little bell button. Tap the notifications, because as soon as we go live, whether it's for the Knicks, the Rangers, or the Mets on this channel, you'll be notified when we do go live so you don't miss it. And as always, hit the thumbs up, catch the replay, tell your friends, tell your family. Subscribe to the Sunny Days Media 516 channel on YouTube. And as always, we appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Let's go Rangers. And I don't care what any of these guys here up with me on the screen, Jerry or Aaron, say. Get the sweep on Saturday.
Get them out. Get the brooms out.
Peace.